Welcome to another video session. We are looking into Unit 4. This is the 8th session in this Unit 4. It is combinational logic circuits. So far in this unit, we have considered all these topics. And lastly, we had considered the binary adder and subtractor. That means how the same adder circuit can be used for binary subtractor is what we have seen. And we have used the 2's complement method. So we've seen that we can use the adder circuit itself to perform the subtraction operation, right? And we have also seen the decimal adder, that is basically the BCD, the binary coded decimal. So we have seen how that is different from the binary adder. So how do you convert a number, a binary number, to a BCD number? In fact, the same 4-digit BCD number, binary number to a BCD number. Each BCD number is a 4-digit, is what we have seen. So when we are converting a 4-bit binary number, so the 4-bit counts is 16, is it? So that is 0, 0, 0. That is all the 4 bits being zeros to all the 4 bits being ones. So that counts 16 different states. But we use only 10 states for the BCD, that is the decimal number, binary coded decimal. So therefore, what we do, we add 6, which is the difference between the steps that we are shifting or skipping between the binary 4-bit codes and the decimal code, right? So therefore, we are using 6. So that is what we have seen in the previous discussion. Okay. Now in this session, we will look into a binary multiplier, and also we will look into the magnitude comparator. What is a magnitude comparator also we will consider. Okay. So let us look into the 2-bit by 2-bit binary multiplier. So multiplier, as we have all done multiplication, we know the rules for multiplication. Suppose I have two numbers. So how do I multiply? I take the, if I have two numbers, so that means let me say 2-digit numbers. So let us come to this binary itself. So I have two binary bits, B0 and B1. Sorry, B0 is a lower significant bit and B1 is a higher bit. And A0 is a lower bit and A1 is the higher bit. So I have two bits, B0 and B1, that has to be multiplied by A0 and A1. So if you consider the decimal, so this will be 2-digit decimal number, this will be 2-digit decimal number. So this B1 can be any number from 0 to 9. Similarly, B0 can be any number from 0 to 9. Here also A1 can be 0 to 9, any digit. A0 can also be any number between 0 to 9, that is any digit. But here we are talking about the binary multiplication. So B0 and A0, B0, B1, A0, A1, all these can be either zeros or ones. So only those two values it can take, right? So whatever it is, whether it is 0, 0 or 1, 0, whatever we are taking. Now let us say how we multiply them. First, what we do, we take the lower position bit, multiply with the other one. So A0. So we have these two. So first we call the multiplier and the multiplicand. So this is the multiplier and that's the multiplicand. So first what we do, we multiply A0 with B0. Then we get the product of these two. Next, we get, or the first digit we get by multiplying A0 with B0. And next what we do, we multiply A0 with B1, right? So A0 has to be multiplied with both the digits. So we multiply A0 B0 is one product and A0 B1 is another product. Have you completed the complete multiplication? No. Still one more bit is there that has to be multiplied with both the B bits, right? Then what we do when we multiply with A naught, we leave this position, and the first result, whatever we are obtaining, that is the product of A1 with B naught, we write under this, right? Okay, so we write here. So therefore, A naught B1 product we write here, and A1 B1 product we write here. Then what we do, A naught B naught, whatever the product we have got, it is just a bit, right? So we write it as it is. Whereas the product of A naught B1 is added to the product of A1 B naught. So when we add these two, we get the sum, and this may result in a carry, right? So as we are adding two bits, now this result is a bit, this result is also one bit. So when we add two bits, it may generate a carry, right? Whereas here we are not adding any bit. So when you multiply one bit with another bit, we get only one bit. So here we don't get a carry, but here we are adding. So it may result in a carry. So that carry has to be added along with this the product A1 B1, right? So when we add that carry with this, again it's a one bit and one bit here. So when we add it, it can result in another carry. So therefore, what I observe here is when I multiply a 2-bit number by 2-bit number, what is the result maximum number of bits? The results is a 4-bit number, right? So when I multiply 2-bit by 2-bit number, 2-bit by 2 bits, I get 4 bits. So that is the result I am observing by doing the binary multiplication, right? So therefore, now let us see how we can implement this circuit. So using a circuit, we can implement this. So what is the first result is A naught and B naught. So this is my A naught, and I'm going to give to an AND gate to which B naught is given. So A naught and B naught, and that gives me the first product C naught. Okay, so C naught, I have got it here. Next, A naught has to be multiplied with what? B1. So A naught is multiplied with B1 by using this AND gate, and then that product has to be added with A1 B naught. So I'm going to use a half adder. Now why I'm using a half adder, I'll come to the point. So A1 is multiplied with B naught by using the AND gate, and that result is given to the half adder. Now half adder, as you see, I am not taking any carry from the previous. So this is not generating any carry. So therefore, only the half adder is enough here for me because I'm going to use only 2 bits. So therefore, I don't require extra information. I mean the extra bit. So therefore, I'm going to use only 2 bits. So I have used only a half adder. Now when I use, so I will get this. All right, sorry for that interruption. So we have seen here we are going to use only a half adder because we are not using any carry from the previous result. So therefore, I've used a half adder here. So this will give a sum and a carry. So the sum is what the C1 is. So the sum is a result C1, and next the carry of this is going, as I said, when I add these 2 bits, it may generate a carry. So that carry has to be added to the product A1 B1. So I have the product A1 B1 from the output of this AND gate, and to that I am giving the carry from the previous stage. And again, I'm using only half adder because I am not using 2 input. I mean, I'm not using 2 input plus a carry. I'm just using only 1 input and a previous carry. So therefore, a half adder is enough for me. So this will result in 2, that is a sum and a carry. So therefore, the sum is nothing but the product bit C2, and C3 is the overall carry, the final carry, right? So this is what is the realization of this multiplication. So how a 2-bit by 2-bit multiplier is realized using this circuit. Now what we have to see is that when I multiply a 2-bit binary by another 2-bit binary, how many AND gates do I require? I require 4 AND gates because I get 4 product terms. So I require 4 AND gates, and I require 2 half adders or 2 adder circuits, half adders rather. Okay, so I require 2 adder circuits and 4 product, I mean the AND gates. So therefore, in general, I can say that if I am doing an n bit by n bit or n by m, so n can be greater than or less than m. So I mean to say n and m need not be equal. So n can be greater or m can be, whether I'm saying 3-bit by 4-bit or 4-bit by 3-bit, anything. So if we are going to consider that way, then what will be the result? So in that case, the number of AND gates, the number of adders that I would require will vary, right? Suppose if I have j number of, j bit by k bit multiplication, when I'm doing j bit by k bit multiplication or m by n, whatever you want to call it as. So I would require m into n. So you say I have 2 into 2 bit, right? 2 bit into 2 bit. So 2 into 2 is 4 bits. So therefore, if I use m by n number of bits, then I would require m into n number of AND gates and n number of half adders I would be using to realize the sum. All right. So that is in general. We are just checking out what will be the circuit requirement for this combinational circuit to realize this binary multiplier. Okay. Now let us go to the next topic. Suppose, as I said, I'm multiplying a 4-bit by a 3-bit binary number. Here I am multiplying 4-bit, that is B0, B1, B2, B3, where B3 is the most significant bit and B0 is the least significant bit. So that is multiplied with A0, A1, A2. So it's a 3-bit number. All right. So when I multiply that, now you see 4 into 3 is how much? Is 12. So therefore I require 12 AND gates, and it's a 4-bit number. So therefore I am using 4 adders. So as you can see, there are adders inside this. So it's a 4-bit adder that I will be using. 2 4-bit adders I will be using. All right. Because each adder will have 2 adders inside that. So 2 plus 2, 4-bit adders I will be using. I mean 2 4-bit adders I will be using. So here I am getting the product of C0. As you can see, A0 is multiplied by all the 4 terms. So A0, B0 value will be taken, the product will be taken as it is. It will not be added with anything. Whereas A0, B1, A2, B2, A3, A0, B1, A0, B2, A0, B3, they have to be added to the remaining products also, isn't it? So therefore, whatever we had understood, we're using a 2-bit number, 2-bit by 2-bit number. So you can realize that here by using a 4-bit by 3-bit number. So here we can see the result and understand the problem here. So the two numbers, whatever you're going to add, they are called as the addend and the augend. And again, from this, we are going to get the C1. All right. And when we are adding this set here, so I have only 3 inputs here, but I require 4 inputs. So therefore, this input is taken as 0. All right. So for the 4 inputs here, I have only 3 inputs. That is the product terms of only 3 inputs, but the other term is taken as 0. We can't leave it open. So we have to make it to 0. Next, here we are taking A1 multiplied by all the terms B0, B1, B2 and B3. So we get 4 different terms, and again you're adding it with the previous result, and then we are multiplying with A2 with all the bits B0, B1, B2, B3, and that result along with the previous you have to add it, and therefore you get the final result, which is all these bits C6, C5, C4. So we see that when I multiply 4 bit by 3 bit, I require 12 number of AND gates. And what is the output? Output bit is 4 plus 3, that is 7 bits. So output here you can see that we have 7 bits. So 7 bits will be the output. So m plus n or n plus n number of outputs, and m into n number of AND gates, and if you're taking this as m, so m number of adders you will require. So this is the understanding. So that means I'm using an adder itself to perform the multiplier operation. This I am using adder for the adding the sum, that is the products, adding all the products, and the products are implemented using the AND gates here because it's a bit by bit operation. So therefore this is the understanding of this circuit. So that is a 3 by 4 or 4 by 3 bit multiplier. So you have to realize how many AND gates you require so that you know what is the circuit complexity involved in that. So the next important circuit, the combinational circuit, is the 4-bit comparator. So that means I'm going to take a number, a binary number, which is of size 4 bits. So I'm going to compare two numbers. So when I compare, I should be taking two numbers. And what is the size of each of that number? It's a 4-bit number. So for example, if I'm going to consider the number A and B, what is the number of bits for A? A is a 4-bit number. What is the number of bits for B? B also is a 4-bit number. So A0, A1, A2, A3 are the bits of A. B0, B1, B2, B3 are the bits of B. Now these can be a 0 or 1, 1 or 0, whatever the combinations. All right. So therefore, we are going to compare these two numbers. So now when you compare two numbers, you know that the result can be such that A and B are the numbers that you're going to compare. It can be that A is equal to B, or A is less than B, or A is greater than B. Now, how do we use a combinational circuit? How do we use the combinational circuit to figure out this? The condition when A is equal to B, when A is greater than B, and when A is less than B. So that is the circuit we have to design now. Now, we look at the condition when A equals B. So how do we know when A equals B? First, how do we start checking two numbers, whether they are equal? Normally, we start with the most significant bit, right? We don't start with the least significant bit. So normally, because we need to know whether they are higher, it is greater or smaller. So first, we don't have to start from here, and we don't conclude from the lower bits. We always start with the higher bit. Suppose if there's a 4-digit number, 4-bit number, and there's a 3-bit number, obviously this number is bigger than this number. It is understood, right? So that means to say here the most significant bit present here is absent. So therefore this is bigger than this. All right. So in a similar way, we start always from the most significant bit. We see if both the bits are same or it is different. So which is bigger? So if suppose A is 1 and B is 0, we know that this number will definitely be bigger, right? So we understand, yes, this number is bigger. Suppose if B is 1 and A is 0, then we know that this, since the most significant bit is high and this is more than all these values, so therefore we say that this this binary number will be more than this. For example, what is if it is 1000, that means 8, and this is 0 and 111. So what is that value? This is 7. So 8 is definitely more than 7. So just by comparing this bit, the most significant bit, we can say that whether A is less than B or A is greater than B or A is equal to B, right? So suppose if both the bits are same, both are zeros or both are ones, then we have to go to the next lower bit. So next we compare A2 with B2. We don't compare A2 with B1. We compare with A2 with B2, bit position bits only. The bits in the same position. Next, if they both are also equal, then we go to the bits A1, B1. If they both are also equal, then we go to the bits A0, B1. If they both are also equal, only then we say that A is equal to B, right? So therefore, we have for any condition to be equality, any number to be equality, so we consider the XNOR operation. XNOR operation, and the output of the XNOR gate is of a two input XNOR gate is AB or A complement B complement, right? So that is the XNOR operation, the exclusive NOR operation. So it's a NOT of the XOR operation. It's a NOT NOT XOR operation, right? So therefore, here we consider this is the equation for any bit position. Then we can indicate with the index I, and we can compute the output. So I can be 0, 1, 2, 3. So if it is 0, that means we are considering A0 and A0, B0. If it is 1, then A1, B1, A2, B2, and so on. So this is in general we are going to consider. All right. Next, so when do we say A is equal to B? First, we check for A3, B3. That means the third bit, the most significant bit is 3. So A3, B3, we look for the A3, B3. So that if both the bits are high, I mean if both the bits are same, both are zeros or both are ones, so we check for that bit, we represent as X3. Next, we look for these two bits, A2, B2. So if they are also same, that we represent as X2. If A1, B1 both are same, that we represent as X1. If A0, B0 both are same, we represent as X0. So therefore, we say that A is equal to B when the condition X3, X2, X1, X0 all are the same. That means all the bits position wise, they are all the same. So we check for equality condition here. Next, how do we check? So what is the summary of the discussion so far? What we have done? So we use the XNOR gate to check for equality. So XNOR for each bits. So there is one XNOR gate for this bit, these two bits, and so we will use 4 XNOR gates, each of which is a 2-bit, and we check for these 4 bits. All right. So therefore, we use 4 XNOR gates to check for the equality condition. So thereby we understand that they are equal. So if you want to check for equality, we have to use a XNOR gate to check the equality. Now, how do we check for A greater than B? So what is the output, or how do we check for A greater than B? So A is greater than B means if suppose A is 1 and B is 0, then when you give that to an AND gate, so B complement will be 1, so output of that gate will be 1. So if you take the product of A3 and B complement 3, it will be equal to 1. So AND gate will be 1. So we are talking about the min terms. So A3 B complement 3. So this indicates that A is greater than B. Suppose A3 is equal to B, B3. Then what is that result we are representing? The equality result. We are representing that equality result as X3. So therefore, so when A3 is, so when A and B both, when A3 and B3 both are of same value, then we go for the next bit. What is the next bit? It is A2, B2. Again, when do we say A is greater than B? A2, if you take the product of A2 or if you take the AND operation of A2 and B complement, it should be equal to 1. Now again, when will we say this bit is, by comparing these two bits, how do we say that A is greater than B? Provided that A3, B3 bits were 1. That means both were same. Both were same. So therefore, we have to take X3 also, which is the result of previous comparison. All right. So when they are equal, then only we are considering this. We are going to the next lower bit. So therefore, X3, so the product of that is a 3 input AND gate with X3, A2 and B complement, B2 complement should be equal to 1. Then we say A is greater than B. Next, if this also, here also A2 and B2 are same. A2 and B2, both the bits are having the same value. Then we go to the lower. So that means to say we should have A3 bit, the A3 equality in A3 bits in the, that is in the most significant bit, and the next lower position also there should be equality, and then the A1 bit and B1 complement bit we are going to compare. So again here also, if there is equality, then we go to the last bit, that is the least significant bit, and check. Again, if here also it is same, we have already seen that that is equality. And here, if it is more or less, we check here. So we see that we say that A is greater than B for these conditions. All right. So this is how we check the A is greater than B. Similarly, how do we say that A is less than B? Whatever we have considered here, it should be the complement of that. So that means we check for A complement B3. Again, if A3, B3 are same, then we look for A2 complement B2. Next, again, there also, if you observe that A2 and B2 are same, then we go for A1, B1 comparison, and so on. So therefore, for an n term, so we consider like this up to n naught term. That's what it means here. All right. So we are going to consider when we are comparing two 4-bit numbers, 4-bit numbers, A and B, it can be less than, A can be less than B, or A can be equal to B, or A can be greater than B. Those are the three results, and you can't get any other result apart from this. So therefore, let us realize this using the circuit. So this is the equations we have now. So let us realize this using the circuit. So now here is A, and from the terms we have seen, so this is A3, B3. So, and A3 is given to a NOT gate here, and B3 is also given to another NOT gate here. So what is the input for this AND gate? A3 complement, or A3 complement, and B3 is the output of this. Next, this is A3 and B3 complement. Okay, it comes to this NOR gate. Okay, so this complete is the XNOR operation. XNOR operation is performed here. All right, and we see that this is the equality condition. Suppose let us say A3 is 1 and B3 is 1. All right, so if A3 and B3 both are 1, so what will be the output here? A3, the complement will be 0. So 0 and 1. Okay, so 0 and 1 are the inputs to this AND gate. So output is 0. Here, A3 is 1, B3 complement will be 0. So 1 and 0 are the inputs to this AND gate. So output is 0. So what is the output of the NOR gate when both are zeros? Output is 1. So we say that it is, so x3 is equal to 1 means that the bits A3 and B3 are equal, are same. Suppose you consider A3 is 0 and B3 is also 0. Let us just check for one condition here, right? One bit at least. Okay, so when A3 is 0, what is the output of this NOT gate? It is 1. So 1 and B3 is 0, so 1 and 0 is 0. A3 is 0, B3 complement is 1, so 0 and 1, output of this AND gate is also is 0. So again, 0, 0 are the inputs for the NOR gate. What will be the output of the NOR gate is 1. So whereby we say that X3 is 1, saying that the bits A3 and B3 are same. Equality condition. Now let us say when A3 is greater than B3. Okay. Yeah. Sorry for that. Okay. When A3 is greater than A3 is 1 and B3 is 0. So when A3 is 1, so the complement of that is 0 and B3 is 0. I say 0, 0 input and bit output is 0. Next, A3 is 1 and B3 is 0. So complement of that is 1. So 1 and 1. So output of this AND gate is 1. So one input is 0, another input is 1. So what is the output of this NOR gate? NOR gate will be 0. So when the output of the NOR gate is 0, so therefore we see that they are not equal. So this is the XNOR function, and we have seen that it is not equal to 0. Now let us go further here. Now if they are equal, so what happens? If they are equal, it is going to the next bit. What is the next bit comparison? We are again checking with these two bits. So you see that this equality is now considered. So whatever the equations we realized, you can trace that we are getting all the equations. So, and if x3 is equal, you see the equality condition is here. So if x3 is equal and x2 is equal and x1 is equal and at x0 is equal, only then we say A is equal to B. So for A equals B, it's all the 4 bits should be equal. So this is an AND gate which says that all the 4 inputs should be 1. Only then the output is 1. So we have realized the A equal B condition using XNOR and 4 input AND gate. Next, how do we say that A is greater than B? So as I said, for an example here, I said A is 1 and B is 0. So when A is 1 and B is 0, so the output of this AND gate is 0 and the output of this AND gate is 1. So this 1 comes here. All right. So this is 1. See where it is going. As I said, the combination is A is 1. I mean, A3 is 1, B3 is 0. So you see that it is coming to this OR gate where we are saying for the output A is greater than B. So you can trace back for all the bit positions. And you see that when any of these bits are greater, then we say A is greater than B. If any of this bit is true, then we say A is less than B or B is greater than A. So therefore, this is how the 4-bit comparator circuit works. All right. So I hope the understanding of the 4-bit comparator circuit is easy to remember and trace it and draw this. So though the circuit looks a little complicated, but it is not when you trace back and remember the output. All right. So I hope you'll be able to remember and do well in the exam. So far we have seen all these topics. So lately we have seen the multiplier, binary multiplier, and the magnitude comparator. So when we compare, it can be a greater than, the two numbers can be equal to, or one can be greater than the other, or one can be less than the other. So that is what we have seen. In the next session, we will look into what are called as decoders. So we will look into another type of combinational circuits which are called the decoders. With that, we wind up this session. Thank you.